Yeah.
My mind.
Yeah.
Last night we had an awesome message last night by Bishop Greer.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's our brother.
Yes, sir.
Awesome message.
Yeah.
Talked about that fight, eloquently
Yes, sir.
broke it down, gave us a description, gave us a reference point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of where to go to
Yes,
look
sir.
at. Now, you know, it's amazing, Maureen Solid, that California has this information about what fires do, but it seems as though they don't get the memo of following their own instructions.
Come on now.
Right.
For
But
real.
they are the most wicked state that I
Yeah.
can think
It
of.
always had a fire.
Right.
It always got fire. You would think that they would get the point
Message.
about fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But people can tell you about something and not follow it themselves.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Come on.
People can sit up there and tell you what you should be doing in your marriage, and
Right.
then doing it in
You
theirs.
better come on.
Right.
Come on.
Right. Go ahead.
Yes,
Come on
sir.
now.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
I'm serious.
That's real, though.
We talk about lighting fire. This conference talk about lighting fire, right? Lighting it. And Bishop broke some things down about the different fire. But I want to talk to you today about the levels of fire.
Okay, come on,
Come on,
man.
Bishop.
Levels of fire. You know, we have this beautiful menorah here, right? You see this fire, you see the level of that fire. The level of that fire, to most of us, if we process it, it's not dangerous.
Come on.
Because most of us can take both of our fingers and pinch the light out.
That's right.
Then there's another level of fire that may be a little more bigger. You know, like at the cookout.
Come on.
You know, the fire that you set at the grill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
The grill fire ain't the same as that fire.
No, sir. No, sir.
Then you have fires that are bigger than that,
Come on.
where people use to burn in their yards. Matter of fact, there's some companies that use fire to burn trash.
Come on. Yes, sir.
They can't use that fire. They can't use the grill side fire because it's too much trash. And sometimes, maybe God needs to use a bigger level of fire to get rid of all this trash.
Ooh, that's
Come on.
good.
California full of it. Trash.
Yes, sir.
Most of us have it in our lives. I want to talk to you about the different levels of fire. So we're going to start out in 1 Corinthians chapter number 3. I'm going to be reading from the Tree of Life version.
Yes, sir.
And I want to slow walk this because I think it's very important that we understand that even within ministry and even within our lives, there's different levels of fire. There are people in your ministry that size fire. But the problem with people that is that size fire seem to want to be the size of a barbecue grill fire. They have not become content with being the little light on the menorah.
Right.
Not understanding the significance of the menorah needs their level of fire.
Come on.
Because a bigger fire would consume it.
Yes, sir.
Then you have those that are even bigger. But the thing about bigger fires, they have to be contained.
Come on.
So when California fire gets out of control, what they do is they get ahead of the fire to try to contain the fire. We need people inside that know people that got fire and have big fire, but we need elders to be able to contain some of these fires. Why? Because people within the ministry can get out of control.
Right, man.
Right.
You need firefighters
Yeah.
to be able to cut off the fire before it get out of control.
That's good.
We need them.
Yes, sir.
We need trench diggers.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because
So-
controlling the fire
Yes, sir.
requires you to cut it off to dig a trench so it does not connect to the other fire. What you don't want is those who have zeal and have out of control fire to infect those who have fire that is controlled.
Come on. Come on.
So you have to make sure that you're careful that those who have the zeal and who are ready to run, that they understand that they have not learned to control their fire.
It's all right.
1 Corinthians chapter number 3. Starting in verse number 1, listen to what the Apostle Paul says. And he's responding to a letter that is written to him. But before I get in, let me give you some background. This Corinthian church, these assemblies that are in Corinth, they are the most gifted of all of the assemblies that Paul planted. Gifted.
Yes, sir.
You know, when the Bible speaks about gifts in Corinthians, it's talking about that the ruach, that the Spirit decides to give the gifts to. Right? Out of control fires desire other people gifts too. See, you have to understand that when Paul is writing, he said, listen, he said, it is the ruach who decides to give the gift to. 1 Corinthians 12. He said, those that are a part of the body, if he's giving you the gift of healing, you should not be envious of those who have the gift of prophecy.
Come on. Come on.
Why? Those who are not envious are the ones who control their fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They understand the purpose of their fire.
Come on.
Right? This Corinthians church, it's gifted, but it's out of control. Gifted, but has a sin problem. A willful sin problem. Gifted, but a man who's gifted, see, gifts don't stop you from sinning.
Come on, that's good. Yes.
Yeah, you gifted, but you still can fall.
That's right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You gifted, but you still can be manipulative. See, you can be prophetic and manipulative.
Yeah.
My mind.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You can read people addresses back and forth, but if you're not doing it for the Most High Yah, if you're not doing it for God,
Right.
and you're doing it for yourself to be manipulative, to control people, then your gift is not a blessing, it's a curse to the body. You're out of control.
Wow.
Come on.
All right.